Hello, everybody. May the peace, mercy, and blessing of Almighty God be upon all of you. Hope you all will be at your good shape. So, today I'm going to talk about the things that influence us and impact our lives. So, without wasting the time, let's set the ball rolling. According to me, there are a number of things that influence us and impact our lives. But then, there are a few factors which transform us. And today, I'm going to talk about one of these factors. And the factor is thinking differently. So how can we think differently? While man is often called a social animal, but I believe he's a thinking animal first. And this one trait put him way above other animals. But the irony is that he ignores it and chooses to exist as an average person. In fact, we misinterpret the meaning of thinking. For most of the people, thinking comes handy while taking important decisions of life, giving answer to the question asked in the interview, or solving some odd puzzles, but thinking does much more than this. Deep thinking elevates you, while thinking differently transforms you. Our education system lays emphasis on linear thinking and give ready-made solutions to already existing problems, and put us in a box which gets bigger by every passing day, and we get trapped in this big box. Because boxes grow, but we don't. By the time we grow up, we are badly trapped in a box, which is everything that keeps us busy for next 20 years. And we keep moving from one point to another point within the box and forget that there is a world outside the box which is much larger and much beautiful than the small world of the box that we are in. The only way to come out of the box is to keep thinking differently when it is growing in size, or to make a big leap if it is already grown big. Your endurance should not be to feel secure within the box, but to take risks and thinking differently, or to find ways to jump out of it. So, how can we think differently? Well, there are ways to do it, and I'll talk about these one by one. The first thing you need to do is to learn the art of breaking patterns. As a child, we see things happening around us and notice people behaving in certain ways or showing certain responses to varied situations. We fix patterns in our mind and start following these patterns. The first thing we need to do is to try something different and be ready to fail. The greatest of innovators have engraved in their minds they break status quo quite regularly and are ready to take the pain of resistance or failure. It's difficult initially, but there comes a time when they accept it as a part of the process. When you start doing something different, your mind starts breaking the patterns that are already formed there. And that is the first sign of the growth. Remember, when you fail at an attempt, you break two patterns, one which is already there and the second which your mind had formed while you are attempting something new. Therefore, looking for new solution means you are trying to make patterns or make new patterns. If you keep making new patterns, you evolve into a thinking man. It might sound weird, but the second thing you gotta do is to prove yourself wrong. Yes, you heard me right, to prove yourself wrong. Do you know the biggest resistance against thinking differently comes from inside? And this is what you need to control first. Not the external resistance. We are so occupied with the viewpoint of the outer world that we are tend to ignore the world inside. The funny thing is that your brain lies to you sometimes, especially when you start thinking of doing something different. Its initial response to any new attempt is to convince you that you are not cut out for it or you lack the required skill. It keeps nudging you to take a flight instead of fighting the challenge. It's time to challenge your brain. If it says you can't learn a particular skill or you don't deserve this, shut it up. If it says this is not meant for you or you are too old or too young to learn a particular skill. When you keep doing it, your brain will start respecting your viewpoint and will support you in every new endeavor of yours. Great souls know how to silence the voice within, which is trying to undermine the capabilities. One of the greatest painters of all the time, Vincent van Gogh, says, if you hear a voice within you say you can't paint, then by all means paint. and that voice will be silenced. The last point here we have is to think more of solutions and opportunities than of problems. Most of the scientists and inventors were thinking about the solution while the whole world was focusing on the problem. Even in the current situation that we are in, if you find a lot of people, you will find a lot of people thinking more of the solution, more of the problems that emerged after the pandemic struck us than of the opportunities that it brought before us. Just to quote an example, I would not be talking to you if you were living with the same old world order. If you look at any problem, it's an outer shell of the solution. In fact, means there is a solution embedded in every problem. So there are no problems, only solutions. But our mind is such tuned that it only sees the problem and just fail to notice the solution and opportunities thereafter. Like Newton saw the solution in the apple that fell on his head, Edison in the darkness that surrounded the whole world before he invented the bulb. They didn't think much more about the problem. They channelized their energy in finding the solution. You see, it's all about thinking differently. Now, let me recap the points once again that can help you thinking differently. The first point, learn the art of breaking pattern. Second, prove yourself wrong. Last but not the least, think more of the solution and opportunities than of the problems. With this, we come to end of the topic. Now is the time of implementation. Apply all of these points in your life one by one, and you will see your life changing. It takes time, as every good thing does, but believe me, it works. And at the end, just do me a favor by just click on the subscribe button, and yeah, don't forget to share the video with your friends. Have a great time. Thank you.